if you need a one-shot horror role-playing game for Halloween that's coming up, check out Tropes Zombie Edition. This is by my buddy Pete Spawn, Small Niche Games. I've done a bunch of videos about his stuff before. He came up and showed me this game and ran it for me and my friends. We had an absolute blast. This is a zombie role-playing game that's not very deep. It's just for a fun, maybe an hour or two, maybe 3 or even 4 if you really wanted to slow it down, for pretty much just a one-shot or a small session. And it's not a zombie apocalypse. It's about an outbreak, killing zombies so you can get the heck out of there. That's what the game's about. There's a lot of fun stuff to be had in between there. So let's check it out. This is on ttrpg. It's got the print version and there's an artless free PDF version of it, as well as a couple of supplements that I'll probably talk about in another video. There's also a bundle, which is very good to get. And I think as of making this video right now, it's on sale on ttrpg if you want to check it out, even the print versions. So let's dive into it. Like I said, it's not very long, but it's got a lot of fun to be had. So obviously this is the Pete Spawn kind of layout that he's known for. If you check out my other videos or any of his products, very clean, clear, and precise. So his forward kind of giving you some inspiration. Of course, this is a zombie role-playing game. There's many of them, but what this does is it does, quick, fast, easy, fun zombies without a whole bunch of other minutiae to get in the way. So the table of contents, this is really going to help us break down what this book's about. So how to play, your character generation, running the game, combat, Outbreak 101, sampling NPCs, which of course can be used as normal player characters, all about the zombies, appendix, and reference sheets. So let's take a look. So I've got some game terms here. You see not very many. The Zombie Master is is the DM of this game. And you're going to have things such as the D6. This uses all D6s. The task roll, the attack roll, reaction rolls, very much like D&D of the old days, Outbreak, and of course, zombie. If you need a definition of zombies, you're probably playing the wrong game. So how to play. So this is where the fun starts. Thank God. So paper and writing utensils and a bowl for the center of the table. So everyone's going to create 3 characters. All the players are going to create 3 characters. One is going to be stronger, one's going to be kind of middle of the road, and one's going to be kind of weak. And then you're going to put all those characters in the bowl. You fold it up, put it in the bowl, and then you're going to pull one randomly. So you're going to play one character. It may not be one that you create. It might be somebody else. So it's very fun to be able to create characters knowing that someone else might play them. So you might write in there something kind of funny, and there's the description area of the character sheet. And this character might be just terrible. So it's just fun to never know exactly who you're going to pull from that bowl. And somebody at the table created them, and you can have some fun ribbing them about it if it's a bad character. So it says a typical game should take anywhere from 60 minutes to 4 hours. And then you're going to need a map. So I found a map, and Pete, at the time when he ran it, he had a Busch Gardens map. You know those kind of maps they give you when you go to a place like that. And I found one here of the city of Greenville and the county of Greenville, where I live in South Carolina. And these maps are great to kind of show you and pinpoint where places are. And it's kind of like an abstract view of just saying, hey, you're in this building, you're in that building, you're running over here to the grocery store, here's the airport. And they're just very helpful if you can find a map like that. Or you can just draw out your own. So, gameplay, character death, note on zombies. And then your character generation. Exactly like I talked about, making your characters. You're going to assign, the first character is going to have 7 points to divide amongst his abilities. The next one's 6, and the third is 5th. And it's got to be in between 1 and 3, the ability score. So you've got muscle, agility, and wits. And it's very easy. Each one of these points is going to be a D6 you're going to roll in order to try to attempt to do a task or to fight against the zombies. Your health is based off your muscle score. And then you've got a selection here of backgrounds and professions that you can roll up randomly if you wish. And they might help you get an extra D6 should it be something that's tied into your profession or background, such as a first aid kit. You're doing first aid on it with a doctor, an EMT, or a nurse, or something like that. Give your character a 3-sentence description. This one says, like, lost 3 fingers on the left hand from a saw accident. Just gives them a little bit of fluff, and it's going to be fun to kind of write some funny stuff for your buddy to grab out of the bowl. Gear might be given to you by the Zombie Master. And then everybody's going to kind of band together because a lot of times this outbreak is going to happen, obviously, when they're not expecting it. I mean, who is expecting a zombie outbreak? And you're just a typical person, normal person, going about whatever activity you're doing. And you're going to just join up with people to try to fend off against the zombies. So here's the character sheet. So you've got your name, profession, those 3-sentence descriptions, your gear, and then here's your stats: muscle, agility, wits, your health. You may get armor, and I'll explain about action points later. So movement is obviously very abstract. It's very helpful because you pretty much just go from point A to point B. And that really helps just zoom the adventure along and get you to where you need to be. So task resolution is very easy. So you need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 on any die that you're rolling. So if you're doing something that involves muscle, you've got 2 dice like this, Wayne the Carpenter. You roll 2 dice, and if one of them comes up a 4, 5, or 6, you succeed. Now, obviously, something could hamper you, and you take away a die, or something might aid you, and you get to add some dice. And that's up to the zombie master to decide. That's it. Muscle, agility, wits. That's all you need. And obviously, when you're doing combat, muscle for melee and agility for ranged. So zombies have a little bit tougher time, and they need to get a 5 or a 6. There's rules for resisting rolls, combining rolls, ties, negative rolls, a list of common rolls that you might need to make with those abilities. If you roll all 6s, you get an action point. If you roll all 1s, a bunch of zombies bust out of somewhere and attack you. And so this is a very cinematic game. That's the best thing I can say about, one of the best things I can say about it. It's just super cinematic. Jumping from point A to point B, tons of zombies. You know, you're thinking about how to survive. And when if you roll that critical blunder, much more zombies show up. So action points can be used to either give you a D6, an extra D6 on a task roll or an attack roll. You can use them all if you want. You know, can just be like, I've got a bunch of them. I need to kill this nasty zombie. I'm using them all for it. And they may also help you reduce damage that you may take. Reaction rolls, kind of based off D&D. Rules for horror, optional rules for encumbrance, rules for seeing what's inside a building or not, if it's a death trap or it's unoccupied. And then scavenging. Do you find a clue maybe that might lead you to some sort of information on why the outbreak happened? Bags to help you hold stuff, obviously. Food rations, first aid kits, weapons, and armor. And the random rolls to go along with those. How to deal with wandering zombies, especially should you make a loud noise. And then some tips and tricks on how to deal with the adventure. Keep things moving. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy with clues, loot, and zombies. Don't fudge dice rolls. I mean, just kill these characters. There's going to be more in the bowl. And if you need more, just make them create new characters. It's all fun. And that's ultimately the last tip there, is have fun. So combat's very easy. If you're trying to kill a zombie, you need to roll a 5 or 6. If you're trying to kill a human, it's 4, 5, or 6, because they're a little squishier than zombies. And then, in order to help you do that, it's going to be weapons. So you've got personal weapons, lame, okay, deadly, badass. And so that can be a whole slew of stuff. So like a lame weapon could be a screwdriver or a pocket knife or a wrench. Okay weapon could be a baseball bat. Deadly could be a spiked baseball bat or a sword. Maybe it's a medium caliber pistol. And then badass are going to be very big weapons, very nasty shotguns, 50 caliber handguns, sledgehammers, chainsaws. So they're going to give you extra dice based off their category. Lame is interesting in the fact that it gives you 1d6, but you can only kill a zombie on a 6, and you can only hurt humans on a 5 or 6. And the same with personal weapons like muscles, fists, hands, feet, elbows. It's exactly the same, but you don't get any extra dice. So should you just want to try to punch a zombie, you're going to need to roll a 6. So against zombies, 5 or 6 is required for success, and humans is 4, 5, or 6, like I said. And then for every success that you do, you're going to do a point of damage to that zombie. Normal zombies only have 1 health, so that's helpful. Zombies, they are not nearly as coordinated, so they need a 5 or 6 on attack roll in order to succeed, and up to 6 zombies can attack you. How to keep track of ammunition, an easy way to do it is just after the combat, if you roll a 1 for each weapon, it's run out of ammunition. How to deal with damage from burning or falling, mass combat, adding up together the dice from all the players and the zombies, distributing those amongst the zombies and the player characters. Very easy. How to snipe from afar. Optional rules for armor, it's obviously going to take away from damage, and it could degrade based off the damage going through. Bite, this is fun, pretty much to reduce damage. Taken by the player character, you can destroy your weapon in order to, reduce some of that. How to deal with food, first aid kits. A heroic death, pretty much you can sacrifice your life to rescue an NPC. And when that happens, the next character that you take, they start off with an action point because you decided to choose to die heroically instead of lingering on. Death shall rise. Your player characters will return as zombies in 1d6 turns. And you can also have the zombie master may wish to have the player of the dead character make any task rolls or attack rolls for the newly risen zombie. So it adds a twist of element of fun and bragging rights into the game as players try to off each other's characters. Very cool. And then how to introduce a character. And that's going to be up to the zombie master to decide when they show up. Could be just running down the street. Could be in a car, like, kind of huddling down in the car, you find them, and that's how the player character shows back up. And then here's you got your Outbreak 101. This is going to have everything you need. Causes of it, the tone, the locale, tons of locales here, how to implement those. You know, here you've got clowns attacking this guy, how to implement those into you know, your game. Amusement park, of course, is super fun. Museum, prison, that's pretty nasty. The map, different features that may be there, and then containment. You know, how do the player characters get held down by one area? Maybe it's a military presence. Maybe there's gas, fences and walls, a mysterious fog, or wildfires. Could be just tons of zombies in those areas that you can't even get close to them without getting killed, eaten, and that's not good for you. Different events that may happen, such as maybe a baby or a gunshot, maybe a phone rings, maybe a vehicle shows up, maybe there's an explosion, fortifications, a mob, sirens, a whole bunch of different stuff there. How do you escape? Maybe you get an evac or a shelter or a tunnel or a vehicle. And then what's the end game? Is it annihilation, where they just, you know, the government destroys the city? Maybe a natural disaster happens. A bunch of cool things for you there. And then here's that other type of outbreaks. Maybe it's cowboys and zombies. Maybe it's aliens, you know, zombies in space. Maybe it's set in Rome. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. And then here is sample NPCs. Burly construction worker, cocky kid, CDC scientist, and you can obviously play these as player characters as well. So that's very helpful to have a whole bunch of these if you can't come up with your own. And then here's all about the zombies. Walkers, brutes, runners, evolved, and then there's mutants, and there's pictures of them all. So obviously brutes got more muscle, they can take more hits and obviously dish out more damage. Runners are quicker, and more of them can attack you. And then the evolved have a whole bunch of different abilities here that you can give them. And if you're a fan of like Left 4 Dead, obviously some of these are going to be well known to you. Charged, acid spittle, explosive regurgitation, floater, hard bones, intestinal attack is very fun. Maggoty, nimble, maybe they got some memories still of their former life and they can still do some tasks. Putrid belch, tough skin, and then you've got mutants, and so you've got stuff like plague dogs, tongue lasher, marauder, flyer, master, and war beast, and then zombified animals. And then you've got here an appendix full of films, video games, board games, and role-playing games to help get you in the mood. And then here's your 3 character sheets and the player reference sheet. So you're just going to print those out, have players, you know, fill out their stuff, put it in a bowl, and you're ready to play. And this is great because it has all the different type of personal weapons of what, you know, kind of weapons that you may have, the different categories: personal, lame, okay, deadly, and badass. And then you've got an outbreak sheet to help you, as the zombie master, kind of make sense of all what's going on with what type of zombies, events, and features that might be going on in your outbreak. So that's it. It's a very easy, fun game to play and to run, obviously. If you need something that's, you know, quick with zombies for a one-off, like I said, great for Halloween. I recommend it. Like I said, I had an absolute blast. I felt like it was the shiny moment of the weekend when he came up and he ran it for us, because we played a bunch of different games and this one definitely stood out to me. So if you're looking for something that's just fun, quick, it's got a lot of zombies in it, you can use cool maps like this and there's some other supplements that I'll be talking about in another video. You know, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Trope Zombies Edition is where it's at. So check it out down in the description. You know, thanks for watching as always. I appreciate it. And if you've ever played this, or you know, it's something you need, have any more questions about it, you know, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to do my best to give you that information you need. And I'd love to hear about it, obviously, if you've played it. So thanks a lot, and I'll check you next video.